Creating goal-scoring opportunities are not always convenient, and there's usually insufficient time in which to make precise decisions around the goal. Let us take a close look at some of the ways whereby proper coordination and understanding can help to turn up goal-scoring chances. Aggressive attackers are the ones most likely to create opportunities, mainly because of their quick movement with the ball. Please observe the player in possession of the ball. His positive run towards the penalty area is of great concern to the defender, who tries to remain in a proper defensive position between his goal and the ball. Because most goal-scoring chances show up in and around the penalty area, it is necessary for players to practice the art of scoring regularly. Players must be given multiple chances to kick the ball past the keeper, ensuring that they do it accurately. This means proper composure, perfect contact with the ball, and recognition of where the keeper is positioned. Using a slippery surface is not by accident, as it often occurs during matches and must be dealt with. There is no apology for asking players to perform these skills under extreme pressure. Don't they appear in similar fashion during a match, invariably when players are tired? Probably the most important factor with respect to shooting is angles. This player is seen attempting to strike the ball to the corners of the net, depending on the position of the keeper. In that way, he sacrifices power for clinical accuracy and obtains the best results. Goal scoring is an attitude which should be encouraged in training sessions by allowing players to repeat the exercise as often as is possible. Please note that the services vary constantly, forcing the player to utilize many options. Using either foot, hitting volleys, attempting chip shots, and straight power shots are all options which are available to the player. But in all aspects of the game, shooting must be done in a realistic situation. Hence the reason why it is so necessary to develop the art of shooting first like this and then move into a game situation. Notice this player's love for finding the corners of the net with a certain amount of efficiency. Moving towards the ball in a positive manner is a most effective attribute for the attacking player. Playing under pressure for attacking players is an important virtue because most times players are under pressure during the course of the game and have to perform these skills. Chipping the ball, one of the lost arts in the game, particularly inside the penalty area. Quite noticeably, the player is becoming tired and making errors. Let's take a look at some angle shooting by this player. Notice the variation of the service, composure on the part of the player to get the ball into the net accurately. Most times, goal-scoring opportunities show up at the sides of the penalty area. Hence the reason why there is so much effort on the part of the player to get the ball into the far corner of the net. Once again, physical fatigue cropping in and forcing the player to make errors. Going for power rather than clinical accuracy and finding that an error is made. Please observe the player's aggressive approach when shooting at goal. Clinical accuracy pays off in the long run. Another case of power shooting. Observe the composure of the player and the amount of power placed into the shot. This is a player with an approach that's different. Please recognize the fact that whenever he strikes the ball, he strikes only a portion of the ball, leaving a very deceptive situation for the goalkeeper. Half the ball with the inside of his left foot. Very efficient indeed. Outside the right foot, creating a discomforting situation for the goalkeeper. Once again, an attempt to use the inside of the left foot. The player under pressure, becoming just a wee bit tired. Inside of the left foot, well executed. Now that we have developed the art of shooting, let's look at a realistic situation. This simple 3 versus 3 exercise in the penalty area can solve many problems for players whose main function is scoring goals. Each team has to create options and score goals. But when a team does not have the ball, the players become defenders. The name of the exercise is scoring goals, and it allows players to understand better running habits and knowing where a vacant space is. Let us take a look at this exercise carefully, as it provides many answers to the young striker, especially with regards to embracing half chances. The attacker is now put under pressure, but he must create opportunities for himself. Goals show up in all forms and fashions, and they must be accepted whenever they are available. This type of exercise develops a good goal-scoring attitude, and players tend to shoot more often than they normally would under these circumstances. Quick movement in the penalty area is vitally important for the opportunity to score goals. It's also an excellent exercise for the goalkeeper. Once again, players are seen operating under pressure and creating goal-scoring opportunities. It must be recognized that good, quick movement in and around the penalty area will create goal-scoring opportunities that did not appear possible before. Getting the ball into the net with clinical accuracy from behind the backs of defenders. Great bit of feinting by the player, bringing the ball onto his better striking foot and with absolute accuracy placing it away from the keeper. Composure in the penalty box. Knocking the ball down with the head in the path of an on-rushing forward, and into the goal it goes. Players must not be afraid to challenge the vacant space in the penalty area to create goal-scoring opportunities. The art of scoring goals cannot be overemphasized. Each player would like to know that he has the ability to score goals, and the only way this can be achieved is by constantly practicing various forms of goal-scoring habits. The conditioned exercise in this sequence is one of the ways to develop the goal-scoring habit. 2 teams of 3 players each competing against each other in the penalty area. Both teams are attempting to score on the same keeper. When the red-shirted team has the ball, they attack, and the blue shirts defend the goal. If blue shirts win the ball, they immediately go in search of goal, with red shirts as defenders. The importance here is to develop a greed for scoring goals, but also to improve the various scoring techniques that will show themselves, sometimes with little or no time or space. The use of the players outside of the penalty area towards the flank is to invite the attackers, who may at times recognize a cluster of body traffic in the center of the goal, to create width by playing the ball to these wingers and position themselves for the cross ball. No doubt the keeper will enjoy the benefit of a variety of approaches to goal by attackers and will need to make quick decisions in order to protect his goal. Some of the most attractive goals are scored from a cross-ball service, whereby attackers either have to volley, head, or dive at a rolling ball. The important ingredient for the success of these goal-scoring opportunities is the accuracy of the service. Secondly, the choice of the attacking player to determine whether he uses his head, his foot, or anything else, except his hands, of course. Let us carefully view some players at work, trying to deceive the keeper with one type or another of attack from cross balls. In this case, services are coming from the left side, but this must be varied in your own sessions. The ability to make proper contact with the ball is of absolute importance to these strikers. Recognize the composure before making contact with the ball. Climbing on the ball to head it down, one of the major attributes of scoring goals with the head. An excellent demonstration of heading the ball at goal. Good clinical accuracy inside the goal area. Players must be as composed as possible when it matters most. Excellent goalkeeping. Good demonstration of heading the ball at goal. Getting up off 1 foot, making maximum height. This exercise must be practiced as often as possible so that when it appears in a match, the job will be well done, like on this occasion. Let's give the players a rest, give the goalkeepers some work. Here are some excellent demonstrations of the goalkeeper taking the ball first at the highest point and fingers well behind the line of the ball. Please note that the keeper judges the line well before starting to move. Taking the ball at the highest point is the most important factor for the goalkeeper. In this situation, he's got to run forward in order to close the gap on any attackers. Once again, the keeper is coming off his line to take the ball at the highest possible point. The keeper working on the snapshot conditions to develop his reflexes and his agility. Very tiring exercise by any standards. Keeper must learn to deal with the ball that's going close to the post. If possible, he must get in front of the post. Shots from that angle turn up more often than not. The keeper having to compose himself and ensure that he gets just in front of the post as often as he possibly can. Goalkeepers must be prepared to work hard at all times, and sometimes very daring, like in this demonstration. The one-on-one situations turn up quite often for goalkeepers. This is the reason why this practice is so very important. Goalkeepers must learn various techniques of approaching the 1 versus 1 situation. Quite naturally, the player with the ball has an obvious advantage, but goalkeepers must learn to narrow angles, push attackers on their weak sides, and win some sort of advantage from the exercise. Pushing the player to the side of the park is another one of the very important decisions for the goalkeeper. Selling himself in the tackle is certainly not one of the attributes that he would want to practice. In truth and fact, the goalkeeper should not have much of a chance, but all the same, this exercise must be practiced in order to alert the keeper for situations that will occur during a game. It could be a very frustrating exercise for the goalkeeper, but a very necessary one. Chasing up the ball behind the backs of defenders, one of the most important aspects of creating goal-scoring opportunities. Here is an excellent example of attackers moving behind the backs of defenders on blindsided runs to get a good result. One versus one situations. How very important for attackers and defenders as well. Defenders must ensure that they force attackers onto their weak sides, giving their goalkeeper a better opportunity to save whatever shot may come by. An excellent example of the defender moving the attacker to the side of the park. One can see the defender trying to force the attacker, and in so doing, forcing the forward to make a mistake. Also, slowing the attacker down will be of absolute importance to the defender to encourage a recovery runner. Excellent work by the forward. Defender slowing the attacker, pushing him to a bad angle for shooting and gaining the advantage. Good defensive work so far. By that time, a defender would probably have come back. Notice the swift movement of the defender coming towards the ball. Good work by the attacker. The goalkeeper is also used for giving information to the defender from behind. He acts as the supporting defender in this situation. Excellent finishing ability by the striker. Onto his weak foot. Great skillful play by the attacker, but eventually losing the ball and the opportunity for a goal. Forcing him into a bad shooting position, stalling him sufficiently, and eventually winning the ball. The attacker's decision to slow the pace down to put the defender to sleep did not work on this occasion. Good tackling by the defender. Good work by the defender, pushing the attacker onto his weak foot and creating a very good angle for the goalkeeper. Speed, quickness of movement, excellent skill by the attacker. The element of surprise in shooting first time. A good defender analyzes his opponent carefully and forces him into his weakest area. Good defensive work. Bringing the supporting defender, which is the goalkeeper, into the act to win the ball. 2 versus 1. Another familiar sight on the soccer field. The important factor here is that the attackers must spread themselves so wide that it offers very little opportunity for the defender to have a chance. Good support for the ball by the runner who is running off the ball. The defender trying his very best to keep an eye, finding it difficult. Playing the ball in, committing the defender and playing it away. The important factor for the defender is that he must be able to see both attackers at the same time and the ball must be in front of him. In this situation, it was just not possible. Defender drawn out of the penalty area. Good tackling, blocking off the opportunity for the ball to be played back inside. Good work by the defender. Swift movement and spreading that defender wide, giving the attacker the opportunity for a shot. Good interplay by the 2 attackers, leaving the opportunity for an easy goal. The attacker taking the defender away. Now he's blocked the path on a one-on-one he's created, but good work by the attacker, finding the space on the far post. Good defensive work, leaving the attacker with a very bad angle for shooting. Good work by the two attacking players, creating a goal scoring opportunity. Pay close attention to the player running off the ball and attracting the attention of the defender. Defenders must move to the ball very quickly in order to avail no opportunity for the attacker to collect properly. Good attacking power by the striker. Let's look at a 3 versus 3 situation, one which happens so very often in a game. Good support for the ball is the most important aspect of this exercise. Players must be moving into different directions rather swiftly and creating opportunities. Like this time, defenders doing excellent work to recover. Attackers slowing defenders down, bringing them into awkward positions. Good interplay here by this trio in blue. Movement off the ball, very important. Good defensive work, good covering. This exercise is beneficial to both the attacking team and the defending team, in that support needs to be given on both opportunities. Here is a case of the defender forcing the attacker onto his weak side and winning the ball. Looking for support, good support for the ball on one side for the blue shirts. Excellent swinging of the ball from side to side and creating just a quarter of a chance for goal. Once again, an attacker attacking the space behind the backs of the defenders. Here we see good positive through pass, an air ball that might have created a heading opportunity at goal. Good interpassing here. Excellent work by the keeper. Notice the swift movement of the players when they're approaching the penalty area. Ball into the space behind the backs of defenders, an excellent example of good finishing power by the striker.